First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
From a sunken pirate ship to dry land.
This site, every artifact has been very fantastic to us.
We'll show you the artifact coming to the surface and traffic troubles.
Cedar Road was backed up, and I tried to take the back street so I can get on Battlefield, and it was backed up as well. It was crazy.
What caused all the problems at a Chesapeake crossing? Plus, students pepper sprayed inside another Norfolk school.
But first, a cold front is bringing change in our forecast.
This beautiful day will soon be but a memory. We're going to struggle to get to 60 degrees tomorrow. Chief Meteorologist Don Slater in the Super Doppler 10 Weather Center.
So, Don, if you haven't switched out those closets yet, this is the time.
Yeah, or the thing about it is you're going to have to really close windows coming up a little bit later on. And it's really in just a few hours. Cloud cover has been slow to arrive, but that cold front will move in. And you can see on our tower cam some of the cloud cover off into the northwest. We're looking toward the west, basically. To the northwest, the clouds are going to start moving on in. Absolutely gorgeous day today. It's 78 right now. Last hour, it was 80 degrees into the area. But you'll note all the cold air, 48 in Lexington, Kentucky. Pittsburgh right now at 42. We're going to see that cold air pour on into the area a little bit later on. We're going to be lowering the boom as far as temperature, and we're also going to end up seeing a few spritzes of rain coming up tonight, but more rain on Saturday. Here's a wide view of our future track computer model. Front moves through, but another low pressure area moves on in, and that'll give us some rain coming up on Saturday. And we're going to tell you how much we're going to be lowering the boom and what time it's going to happen with our forecast. It'll be coming up in just a few minutes.
Thanks, Don. It happened again. For the third time in a week, a Norfolk school security guard used pepper spray on students.
This time at Granby High School yesterday. The school spokesperson said it happened when a security guard tried to break up a fight between two students.
10 on your side's Ann McNamara spoke to the superintendent about possible policy changes now because of this. Ann?
Nicole, tonight former Granby High School students explain what these security guards are up against in these halls, and the superintendent of Norfolk Public Schools says it just might be time to tweak a 14-year-old pepper spray policy.
These kids are out of control.
Granby High School, the third Norfolk school where pepper spray was used to control students in the last week.
In each of these cases that there was an element of the security personnel felt they were afraid. They were afraid for their own well-being.
Superintendent Dr. Richard Bentley says this time security broke up a fight between two students. One male student continued to strike guards after verbal warnings, and that's when a guard used pepper spray to regain control. Former students say they didn't fight and they got sprayed.
You're getting hit with it, you don't know where to go, and then you funnel out and you try to just get your senses back, because getting hit with that stuff's no joke.
Are the kids kind of to blame here?
Yeah. Yes.
But it's not just Granby High School. A guard sprayed 37 kids at Lafayette Winona Middle School last week and 3 at Blair Middle School Monday.
It's like all of a sudden we got a little frequency of things happening.
Why is that?
Well, that's an interesting question, and that's something that we're going to answer.
Here's how the school board does it, a process called after-action review. It's a file that includes surveillance video, statements from witnesses, and protocol. Put in place in 1997, school policy says security may pepper spray students after a verbal warning. Who is to blame?
Well,
that's a tougher time.
And that's a great question, okay, and I think one of the things we live in is this world of blame. Okay, so there's lots of blame and there's lots of credit to go around.
There have been 36 documented pepper spray incidents in Norfolk schools in the last 3 years. But Bentley says after the most recent 3, the board will question whether guards will continue to carry pepper spray at all.
Yeah, in other words, would that be a tool we would continue to use?
Jury's still out on that one, and Dr. Bentley says there are security cameras in Granby High School, but he does not know if those cameras captured this particular fight. Norfolk Public Schools denied 10 on your side's request for video of the food fight at Lafayette Winona Middle School. They said it's because of a personnel and student records issue. Ann McNamara, 10 on your side.
There is a school board meeting scheduled for November 16th. Dr. Bentley expects the pepper spray policy review will be on the agenda.
And one of the 3 pepper spray incidents in that week happened at Lafayette Winona Middle, and now that school's been denied accreditation for the 2nd straight year. It was a unanimous vote from the state. A school spokesperson says the school missed state testing targets for the last 6 years. You may remember a former principal was accused of lying and pressuring teachers to cheat on the standards of learning. Now, the superintendent says the school is not a failure, but does have room for improvement.
We're going to talk about how we can disprove those that are claiming that failing schools. The way to make that happen is have success and create success.
And a note here about Lindenwood Elementary School. It received conditional accreditation after making improvements in SOL testing.
Norfolk police say a little boy was hit by a car. It happened at around 4 this afternoon at the intersection of Campostella Road and Mellon Street. Chopper 10 shows you where it happened. We're told that little boy will be okay. Police say his mother was with him at the time of the accident.
Newport News police say officers killed a dog during a drug raid. Investigators say it began when drug officers delivered 5 pounds of marijuana to a home on 71st Street, and a man who answered the door accepted the package. That's when officers went in. In the process, they shot a pit bull and took a man and woman into custody. No word yet what charges the man and woman face.
A terrifying situation caught on tape at a Newport News gas station. Police are looking for the man they say ran behind the counter at the Shell on Warwick Boulevard last night and stuck a gun in an employee's back. Investigators say the suspect ordered the woman to open the register, then ran out with the cash. The York-Poquoson Sheriff's Office says someone stole money from employees at a pizza restaurant. Deputies say the man took money from the tip jar at the front counter of Gus's New York Pizza in Yorktown. This is a picture from the crime Friday night. If you have any information in either of these cases, call the crime line.
Well, it couldn't happen at a worse time, but a traffic crossing arm got stuck, closing a major Chesapeake span during the evening rush. Drivers ran into trouble after yesterday's 4 p.m. opening at the Great Bridge on Battlefield Boulevard. And that's where we find 10 on your side's Ava Hurdle. And Ava, this affected more than those on the road.
That malfunction closed the bridge to traffic for about 2 hours last night, affecting both drivers and businesses nearby. At Frank's Pizza, they're used to making dough, but they likely lost the other kind of dough in customers. This as traffic snarled in front of their Battlefield Boulevard restaurant at the start of dinner time.
We couldn't take deliveries, people wouldn't come pick up food, so I mean, yeah, it did affect us.
After the nearby Great Bridge had a lift Wednesday afternoon, one of its crossing gates would not come back up.
One of the internal drive components inside this cabinet broke, the gear box. The connection for the gearbox came loose with the gate down.
That meant traffic backups and crews had to drive around the tie-ups to get to the bridge with special equipment to make repairs.
Gate arm's about 44 foot long, and I'm estimating the approximate counterweights are 300 pounds. So when you bring the gate arm up, you got to bring it in a controlled fashion with a crane because you can't do it by hand.
Traffic was jammed along Battlefield Boulevard and adjoining streets for about 2 hours.
I got off work to go to my Zumba class. Cedar Road was backed up, and I tried to take the back street so I can get on Battlefield, and it was backed up as well. It was crazy.
Luckily, the city had replacement parts on hand along with the equipment needed to fix things rather quickly. Some 35,000 vehicles use the bridge daily. We're told all of the other crossing gates were checked and turned up no problems. We're live in Chesapeake. Ava Hurdle, 10 on your side.
Suffolk police are investigating an arson at an apartment complex. A city spokesperson says someone set fire to the playground equipment at the Wilson Pines Apartments on East Washington Street last night. A resident reported the fire. These are pictures of the damage. No one was hurt.
Up to 500 new jobs are coming to Isle of Wight County. Governor Bob McDonough will make that official announcement tomorrow. 10 on your side learned a manufacturing company is moving to Windsor. It's coming to the Johnson Development Associates building. That's on Old Mill Road near 460. And we should learn more tomorrow.
New at 5:30, I'm Suri Krill. We'll have the story of how one little hidden device may make all the difference in catching some ballpark bandits.
Buried treasure uncovered. 10 on your side was in the water when it happened. You're going to see the artifact pulled from a famous pirate ship.
Medicare relief. New numbers are in. We'll break down the cost.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Ribas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
In our economy, the number of people applying for unemployment benefits slightly fell last week. The Labor Department says weekly applications dropped 2,000 to a seasonally adjusted 402,000. This is the fourth drop in 6 weeks. Applications need to fall below 375,000 to signal sustainable job growth. Those who have jobs are earning more, but there's a big gap. 10 on Your Side breaks down America's incomes tonight on WAVY News 10 at 5:30. The government says Medicare's basic monthly premium will go up significantly less than expected next year. The Part B premium for outpatient care will be $99 a month for 2012. It works out to an additional $350 a month for most seniors instead of the $10 that was forecast in May. This also means many Medicare recipients will get to keep more of next year's highly anticipated Social Security raise.
And here's a 10 on Your Side consumer alert. General Motors is recalling some 2012 Chevrolet Equinox and GMC Terrain SUVs because the tire pressure monitoring system does not meet federal standards. The tire pressure warning light will not come on when it's supposed to, and that could cause an underinflated tire to overload or overheat. That means blowout, possibly a crash. The recall affects the SUVs built between July 18th and September the 6th. Now, you can find the date inside the driver's side door. GM dealers will fix the problem free. We posted more information on WAVY.com. And there's one more. A toy company that sold popular arts and crafts beads linked to dangerous drug that sickened about a dozen children will pay $1 million fine to the federal government. Spin Master sold Aquadots back in 2007. They were later recalled. Tests showed the beads were coated with a chemical that, when ingested, can metabolize into the so-called date rape drug, GHB. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says Spin Master knowingly failed to report the hazard. The toy company denies it knowingly violated the law.
Your kids' Halloween haul can really do a trick on their teeth. But some treats are better than others. We'll show you which candy is more likely to turn into cavities.
But first, salvage from a shipwreck.
And we're the first people to see it since the pirates were running around on deck using it and touching it.
Oh, this should be cool. See the buried treasure retrieved from the wreckage of a 300-year-old pirate ship. Salvaged from an underwater pirate ship, archaeologists successfully raised another cannon from the wreck of the Queen Anne's Revenge.
The ship, last sailed by the notorious pirate Blackbeard. 10 on Your Side's Art Kahn was in the water off the North Carolina coast when the artifact came to the surface.
The trip from the harbor in Beaufort to the dive site for the wreck of the Queen Anne's Revenge doesn't take long. The wreck sits in about 25 feet of water at the mouth of Beaufort Inlet.
This site, every artifact has been very fantastic to us.
But the artifact they are after today is one of the 24 iron cannons aboard the ship the infamous pirate Blackbeard scuttled off the North Carolina coast in 1718, more than 3 centuries ago.
And we're the first people to see it since the pirates were running around on deck using it and touching it.
This is not the first cannon recovered from the wreck. It is actually number 13.
We sort of thought that it was a bit of jinx because it's been taking a while to get to it during this expedition.
We've been dealing with terrible visibility, terrible wind, the whole project, and all of a sudden the wind laid down, the water turned blue, and it was absolutely perfect conditions.
For a 300-year-old piece of artillery, Cannon 13 looked pretty good.
This one is in better shape. A lot of them have a lot more concretion on them.
With the cannon safely recovered, the team now heads to the state court where the artifact will be offloaded and sent to East Carolina University for conservation.
We can learn so much just from this one cannon. There's a couple of cannonballs in here. There's lead shot, like grape shot. This would actually come out the end of the barrel, kind of like a shotgun.
Maybe the history of the ship itself, a lot of it is told in these cannons in this collection.
The cannons are only part of the collection.
The count is now 280,000 individual artifacts.
Many on display at the North Carolina Maritime Museum in Beaufort. Art Kahn, 10 on Your Side.
Researchers found very little gold at the wreck site, but the artifacts have proven to be quite a treasure for North Carolina.
Art's going to have more on that part of the story tonight on WAVY News 10 at 5:30.
Now, in high definition, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
We've got a cold front headed for us, and it is an absolute, there's no other way to put it. I've got an absolutely miserable forecast coming up for the next few days. Let's get right into it. We'll show you what's going on. It's the time of year when things change pretty rapidly, and change they will tonight. Now, right now, we got no rainfall into the area. Skies are clear overhead, but there is cloud cover that we're seeing move in toward the Richmond area. And the cold front is right about into here towards Charlottesville, and that's going to pop on through our area a little bit later on this evening. Now, I also want to cover real quickly what's going on with Hurricane Rina. We got the latest 5 p.m. update from the Hurricane Center. It has 60-mile-an-hour winds. It's a tropical storm, not a hurricane here, with 60-mile-an-hour winds. And it is again moving to the north at 6 miles an hour, producing some very, very heavy rain through these resort areas. 45-mile-an-hour winds by tomorrow afternoon, 40-mile-an-hour winds by tomorrow night, and then it just becomes a tropical depression and wavers around into the western Gulf of Mexico and likely to produce some flooding rains in some of these Central American countries. We've got big changes coming up right now. We're really going to lower the boom here in the next several hours. Really by around 9, 10 o'clock tonight, this cold front will be dropping on into the region. Now, here's where things are a little bit closer view. And you can see the cloud cover, some cloud cover into the even into the Williamsburg area. A lot more cloud cover just to the west of the Richmond area, and that'll drop on in later on. Now, once again, the cold front right now is right about into here, and that cold front by 9 o'clock this evening will be crossing the Virginia-North Carolina state line. 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds at 9 o'clock, but by midnight even, the winds will really perk up out of the north at 15 to 25 miles an hour. Going to see a stray shower. That's not anything real big during the overnight hours, but the wind will be big and the drop in temperatures will be very, very big coming up for tomorrow. It's likely only to be into the low to mid 50s throughout most of the area, and a breeze out of the north at 10 to 15. Couple of sprinkles at the noon hour. Starting to become a little more widespread, though, off to the west by 7 o'clock in the evening. A mixture of rain, sleet, and snow off toward the mountains. There's where we are at 7 o'clock in the evening. By the midnight hour, pretty steady rainfall into the area with a northeasterly wind at about 10 miles an hour. And here's Saturday. First part of the day is going to be a cold, nasty washout. 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds at 7 o'clock in the morning. Noon hour is still raining, 15 to 20-mile-an-hour winds. Here's a low pressure area that's going to climb right on up the coastline. 10 to 15-mile-an-hour winds by 7 o'clock in the evening. Now, through tomorrow, we just get some very, very light rain through tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock. But then once we hit Saturday again, first part of the day, at least through the early afternoon, it's going to be a washout. We'll see around an inch of rainfall into the area and be rather breezy as well. Enjoy it. Well, we've got temperatures right now, again, into the upper 70s throughout the area. Saw a high temperature today of 80 degrees in Norfolk, and really that was pretty common throughout the area. I want to show you how much colder it's going to be. 26 degrees colder coming up for tomorrow with some rain later on in the day into tomorrow night. Good chance of rain, as we saw on Future Track, coming up on Saturday. Less of a chance later on. But sunshine, 56 on Sunday, and for Halloween Day, we're looking at 63 degrees. Temperatures remaining into the low to mid 60s into next week. Again, it'll be around 25, 26, 27 degrees cooler over the next couple of days.
Well, it's scary when you think about it. Those treats in your child's bag could possibly do some harm to their teeth, but you don't have to shun all those sweet treats. We have advice from the experts about what's the better candy to eat.
Then the next step in space exploration. See the new spacecraft NASA Langley researchers unveiled to 10 on your side. That's new at 5:30. What's scarier than witches, goblins, and zombies on Halloween?
Well, if you're a dentist, he or she might tell you it's candy, some worse than others. Pediatric dentists say the absolute worst sweet treat is anything sticky, like taffy or hard candy. They can break crowns and fillings. Sticky candy is also more likely to get stuck in the grooves of teeth, which gives it time to start working on a cavity.
And sour candy is so acidic, some kinds can actually burn the gums.
What?
It also weakens and wears away at tooth enamel.
I shouldn't have any teeth from when I was a kid then. So what's the best option? Chocolate, because it generally doesn't stick to teeth. And even though they're full of sugar, pixie sticks dissolve quickly and leave less sugar for bacteria to thrive on.
After your kids get their fill, consider a candy buyback program. That's where kids trade in their candy at dentists for things like cash and toothbrushes. You can find out if your dentist participates in a buyback program. Just click on the link on WAVY.com's Halloween Guide. It's at the bottom of our homepage.
Might want to brush your teeth, too.
Yeah.
Once you go there, you'll always find trick-or-treat times where you live, Halloween events across Hampton Roads, and safety tips, and also vote for your favorite entry in our costume contest.
A puppy love program. How local senior citizens are helping to prepare these little labs for an important job.
And who handles their debt better, singles or couples? That's an interesting question, and the answer might surprise you. It's next at 5:30.
Walter, the wind might be causing us problems.
They're calling you.
Hi, mic check. Is that what you're looking for? I don't have IFB. Joy knows. So, they want mic check?
They got it.
Okay.
Hang on there. Yeah. Tell you what, Sophie would probably love that puppy.
Hello, Matt.
Keep her company when I'm away. And they call it Puppy Love. A Virginia Beach retirement community here, residents of the Atlantic Shores are providing a temporary home for these adorable black lab pups. The seniors will raise Joni and Godric, give them obedience training, and teach them socialization skills. They're doing pretty well, it looks like. Eventually, the dogs will return to Guiding Eyes for the Blind for more training to help the visually impaired.
They're learning how to behave in a house. They're learning manners. They're learning what a duck is in the backyard, or they're learning about golf carts running by, or about the trash trucks coming down the street. So these are experiences that the instructors in Guiding Eyes want them to have prior to coming in for formal guide dog training.
We'll stay away from those trash trucks, though. The puppies will also take trips to Ocean Lakes and Corporate Landing Elementary Schools to teach students about the service they will provide as guide dogs. Teach my golden Sophie to behave. That would be nice. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.